Well, the industry is faring pretty well in an economy we all know about all too well. And as I mentioned to someone earlier, it's an industry that is surviving through the low period and ready to move when the economy improves again. Internationally, there is better development. Other countries are having their struggles as well, but there are sales of LSA happening all over the world now as more and more countries embrace this idea.
Final numbers aren't in yet, but Johnson estimates that pilots bought about 300 new light sport aircraft last year.
Among those dominating were Cessna with a large number of deliveries, about 140 I believe, and Cub crafters who also had a very strong year.
And pilots seem to prefer the time-tested designs.
Cub crafters, an American legend, and other Cub-alike airplanes have about 20% of the total market, so that's a substantial share. But a lot of the rest of them are doing okay in the top dozen or so, and even through this tough period, they're hanging in there pretty well, and we're pleased to say that for them.
But some in the industry are not so pleased about the AOPA EAA petition for an exemption that would allow certificated pilots to exercise recreational pilot privileges with just a valid driver's license. Because that would allow a pilot to fly, say, an airplane like a Cessna 172 in day VFR with only one passenger, the light sport industry thought the proposal had cut into their sales.
Most definitely affected sales. There were some people that immediately said, well, I was going to order this or that. I heard from several of those folks at first. Those orders got canceled. Not that anybody went and bought anything else, unfortunately, because it just gave them the chance to say, let me look a little further. So, and maybe that's expected in a weak economy as well. But the original angst that was expressed by the industry has significantly died down. Not that they're not still feeling some pain from that, mainly because it surprised us as an industry. We didn't know it was coming. Not that that would have made a lot of difference, but at least we wouldn't have been blindsided by it a little bit. However, we think that there's plenty of other strong, very strong arguments to favor light sport aircraft, and the medical lack of a medical requirement was just a part of that. We've got very fuel efficient vehicles at a time when fuel prices are just going north and north. We've got very quiet airplanes that are good neighbor relation airplanes. They're very capable with interesting cockpits in size and the equipment in them. Their efficiency to fly is very good. Their miles per gallon is excellent. There's a lot of positive reasons to look at a light sport aircraft other than the lack of a FAA medical requirement. So we don't think it's a slam dunk that this will happen. But in all honesty, those of us, we're all pilots too, and we all say, look, we realize the argument that a third-class medical does not promote a great increase in safety. In fact, there's hardly any measurable indication. So we realize the fact of it, that it's probably best. But for an industry where people poured heart and soul and a good bit of cash into it, it feels a little bit like the rug got pulled out from underneath us, and we don't want anything to hurt that entry point. This is the place where this light sport aircraft is the place where most new pilots will start.
But the light sport industry is more than traditional fixed-wing designs.
The count now is about 2,300. That's fixed-wing airplanes. There's about another 20% in what I call alternative aircraft, being weight shift, powered parachute, gliders, gyroplanes, like that. So the total count is also approaching 3,000 now, and I think it is only destined to go up, but all that is just the U.S. market. Then there's the rest of the world. Sales are happening there, and more countries are embracing this method of certification. We expect big things for this industry in the next decade.
In Sebring, Florida, I'm Warren Morningstar, AOPA Live.